There we go. Come on, girl. Hup, hup. Let's go. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right. It is Saturday morning. Fresh start of a new video. Fresh face. Summer face. I was given permission to shave, by the way. Only joking, only joking. But yesterday was pretty toasty. It is summertime. We're going to start out down at the shop. We're going to do a little something to the corn planter, and then Dad can get going finishing the pit field. And then I think while he's doing that, I'm probably going to end up disking. All right, so what we ran into here is we wanted to give Dad something to look at. So he wanted the flapper, I wanted a couple strips. Honestly, we did both. But that tells you if that auger is spinning. But this auger is way the heck over here. So doesn't really tell you anything. So I am definitely in luck. I reamed them out with a 1/4 inch drill just to make sure, kind of clean them up a little bit. This one I'm going to swap out because I did find some grade 5 1/4-20 bolts, and then we'll swap that one out as well. Dad is all filled up with fertilizer, at least enough to finish this field, because he said he'll probably be done honestly in like half hour, 45 minutes. So we really didn't fill him up yet, because as he goes this way, these rows keep getting shorter and shorter. 7000's working pretty good. I think we fixed that fertilizer issue. All right, so we're up here. We're gonna do a couple laps around the outside so that when we start going with the rows of the plow, that every time I turn around, it's not gonna jar my fillings loose. So drop this sucker in. Dad said it probably have to play with the height a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. So we're starting our second lap, so now I'm actually going perpendicular to all the rows. So it's not horrible, but don't really want to go too fast. It's definitely bumpy. All right, so we got a couple laps done on the outside, and then we're starting on the south end, and then we're going to work our way this way to the north. So I did a strip in here, and then we'll go around this one until we connect up with the sides. And then we'll go set up another chunk further on down the line. This little strip here, and then after this is done, we're a little over half done with the field, and we're going to go set up another chunk. Dad finished that field, that pit field planting, maybe a little over half hour ago, 45 minutes. He's going to take a little bit of a break, and then he's going to come up here and take over. So he'll finish, and honestly, he'll probably just start disking it again. It's actually doing a really nice job. Some spots are pulling up more than others, but it's turning out pretty nice. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to being done. So the strip I'm going over right now, you can see there's quite a bit of sod there. So when we started, we basically rolled a line this way, and then we rolled a line this way. So then you kind of get sod sitting on sod. So I've gone through it once, and now I'm basically going right down the middle of it with basically the heaviest part of the disc just smack dab on top. Well, that actually worked out really good. I got done as Dad was coming up, and honestly, we needed fuel anyways. So he's gonna head back up there and basically go back over it. All right, so we're gonna do a couple of things that kind of along the same lines. We're gonna go back. I still haven't picked up that temp fence from one of the cows in to the yard, and we sorted everything out last weekend. I did pick up a fencer last night. Fleet carries some of the Parmac fencers, and they're super, was it the Super Energizer 5 or whatever it is? It's like a 6.5 joule. I think it has like a 13,000 or 14,000 max volts. We used to have one like that, and it worked really, really well. And as a backup, it'll serve pretty darn decent. I'd like to have a 10, at least a 10 joule main, but I think this guy will work just fine as a backup. Well, the other thing that could get done too is get this field dragged after that moisture. That would be really nice too. I don't even know where I'm at here. Oh, that's right, this broke off. All right, we're done with the fence stuff, got it all picked up. You guys wouldn't want to watch that, it's just picking up fence. But I got all that temp line picked up and kind of staged and stashed for either honestly this afternoon or tomorrow for putting them on grass. I found a couple of small issues. I gotta grab one new insulator yet and put that up, but it's close. All right, so what we're gonna do now, back to the farm, we're gonna pull cedars, so just kind of getting everything together that we need for that. Got the drugs, I've got my gloves, because I'm the one in the back. I'll be pulling the cedars out, and then Dad will handle the upfront stuff. All right, we are all set to go. We got our Estrotech patches, greens for the flex / reds, and the pink ones for all the blacks. So let's load one up. Most of these girls know exactly where they're going. There we go. Come on, girl. Hup, hup. Let's go. Come on. Hup, hup, hup. Come on. All right, we got a bunch more patches. We got 14 patches on everybody. Went pretty decent. Somehow we ended up 1 dose short on the Estrotech, and I'm guessing just throughout 20 doses, if once in a while you give just a smidge more than 2 mils, you end up using up 2 mils worth over 20. So that's probably just what happened. Alrighty, back at the shop. Just loaded up corn seed, threw 4 more bags in. Honestly, that's probably still going to be way more than enough. But what we're going to do is get Dad going, get him filled up with fertilizer, get him going, and then I'll go feed. And he's only going to go about an hour, but he wants to at least get started and stuff because he's got some things he's got to do tomorrow morning. And then that way, he just, it's an hour planted, he doesn't have to do tomorrow. So we're just gonna leave the gravity box up here tonight. Not supposed to rain. Supposed to rain, not supposed to rain. Gonna head back and start feeding, and I'm not sure if I have to pick Dad up later or not. We'll that's a later problem. All right, so we got all feeding done, and really I'm just waiting to see if I have to go pick Dad up or not. But I needed to reconsult the board because I realized I was going to make a genetic blunder in pedigrees. I was going to give DJ 301, I had bold ruler in there. I can't use bold ruler on her. I mean, I could. It'd be a little close. Because bold ruler is a proclamation son, and proclamation is a cowboy cut son. So bold ruler would be a cowboy cut grandson going on a cowboy cut daughter. So be more in that line breeding terminology. The only area that I want to improve DJ on a little bit, and honestly she's pretty decent in that department, is milk. High Life is very good in there. The only issue is that High Life is a blaze face or a white face, and DJ is also blaze face. So potentially could be chrome, like chrome on chrome could multiply. So we'll see what happens. She's got to stick first. DJ, if you can just give us this right here out of a High Life. All right, Dad is off and running. It is Sunday morning. So Dad's loaded up with fertilizer. He's gonna keep going. He's got about 3 hours or so. We did go up and check that big oats field. We want to do that in oats again. Yes, we're getting really, really late for that. But honestly, we're to the point where we don't care. We just want to get it in. But there is quite a bit of weed up there, and it'll be interesting to see what the disc does. I think I finally am able to go try and do some discing. Got our little hole filled up in the crick. Dad's got his shear pins. Dad is topped off again with fertilizer, and hopefully when that is empty, we don't have very far to go because we are almost out of fertilizer. So, all right, let's get this guy back there. All right, so it's pretty green, but again, this is very sandy soil. But there's no like clovers or anything. It's all really just weedy garbage. So, and some sprouts of wheat. So we'll see how this goes. If this doesn't work, we got to bust out the chisel, and then it's just slower. So hopefully this goes. If it goes halfway decent, Dad's more apt to disc 3 times versus chisel, disc, and disc. The only reason we say that is because we're gonna disc this. The goal is to disc it once, spread fertilizer on it, disc it again, and plant. So that's the goal. Isn't going so bad. That west edge, so that's actually a lot of clover. Traditionally there's a couple of wet holes over there, that's probably why. So that'll end up getting disced up a couple of times. There's a couple of down trees that are just really big and just never got out here and cleaned these things up yet. Cleaned them up decent. We're going from pretty green to pretty well disced up. I think you might be able to get away with 2 disking. All right, I have definitely decided I am not going to disc east and west. I am feeling every combine track possible. The other downside to having sandy soils. You feel everything. But if it wasn't for, honestly, other than the sprouts of wheat that have come up and the really thick clover on this far west end, this stuff is disking up really, really well. And I'm not going in super deep, really just getting in there, just disturbing that top couple inches and then going from there. All right, we've been going for about an hour, but Dad needs his last top off. He said he doesn't need much, but that's good because we don't have much. So Dad's been planting for about 2.5 hours, give or take, and he planted an hour yesterday. He got all of his rounds done, his 4 rounds done. Well, he's only got maybe a couple of down and backs, but he is almost out of fertilizer. So we'll top him off with the little bit that we got. And we'll probably end up taking this back to the shop and then heading back and disking for a little bit. Dad'll probably take a little bit of a break and then he'll probably come and relieve me, I don't know, hour and a half from now, give or take. Dad might actually make the rest of this because he's probably got 2 down and backs and he's completely done. His right hopper is either feeding a little slower or he filled it a little extra. It's probably got maybe 20-30 pounds more in there. So we're gonna see, probably only gonna take 15 minutes, see if he actually can finish this up without having to put anything in. But I'll just get turned around to where I actually like to be. And I guess we're just gonna wait. And that's a wrap on corn planting 2026, as Dad is grinning. A little late, but hey, we got it in. It's not gonna be too bad, especially for corn. We usually do about an 85-day, 86, 7-day variety, so we shouldn't have any issues. All right, so we're gonna head back to the shop and then kind of just figure out what we're gonna do. I'll probably end up going back and disking for a little while, at least for like an hour, and Dad can take a little break, and then we'll switch off. All right, back in the 44, and we're off. Since I've got an extra strip raked on the south end, now I'm gonna rake an extra strip on the north end to get to where I was. Because now I'm just kind of chunking it up and working my way to the east to finish up. Dad's gonna take about an hour break and then he'll come and relieve me. Not really sure how much of this will be left by then, but I'll be at least probably 2/3 done. Disc is actually doing a pretty darn nice job. It's doing what it's supposed to. Now that we're out of that real thick clover stuff and it's just weeds and some oat stubble, it's disking up really, really nice. But we're about, I don't know, maybe we're half done. Maybe just under half. At least the cab's pretty comfortable. I don't have this blasting, but it's like 75 in here. I don't have it cranked up. I could crank it up more, but I don't know. I'm fairly comfortable, so it's nice. That's why we got it, and it's why we got a 42. So just some very minor creature comforts. We don't ask for much. All right, so I have been relieved of my duties. And I'm gonna take Dad's truck back. We'll leave the four-wheeler up here. Looking over the field, it definitely, overall, it has not done a bad job at all. It's done pretty decent, especially considering how much garbage is out here when you look at how much green is there. Dad will grab another chunk here to disc around. Let's see if we can get most of this fertilizer, all this fertilizer cleaned out. I got a couple of smaller garbage cans that should do the trick. All right, emptied out, rinsed out, and pretty much ready to go. Just try and flush as much of that out of the box as possible and out of the auger. Ended up, of course, with a little bit more than I thought we would. So 1.5 lick tubs and a couple of garbage cans. So not too bad, but we got that broadcaster, we'll use it in there. Last day for corn silage for these guys, for the main group. Don't have a whole lot left. I could maybe stretch it out a couple more days, but we need to get cows on grass. And got their mineral feeder back over here, and they're happy. Oh, that one heifer that broke her toenail, tip of her hoof, she's barely limping. Still got a little bit of a limp, but much better. So I figured that would only take a couple of days. Well, everybody out here is doing pretty good. All right, these girls got a fresh bale. This is one of those nicer alfalfa ones too. Funny thing is, little Nala, who is gonna find her way to the sale barn next week or so, she's in heat again, which is a little crazy. These guys got their silage. They think they're getting grain. Actually, Bethany was giving some of them alfalfa cubes. But a really, really nice weekend. Got all 24 acres of our corn planted, so that should be pretty nice. And I think we are still looking at doing pre-emerge herbicide, so probably put that call in the next couple days. Dad got that field disked, he got it finished and most of it done through again a second time. All right, it is the end of the day, end of the weekend, end of a video. Hope you guys liked the video. Please, on your way out, smash that like button as usual. Help support the channel. And of course, if you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. Help support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. Help us get to our goal of 4,000 subs by the end of the year with your help. Just subscribe. It's totally free. And as always, thanks for coming along.